I genuinely wasn't looking for love when I met my fiancé on a cruise ship. To be completely honest with you, when I stepped on that cruise contract in 2024, I had no intention of meeting anyone and I was not in the right place for a relationship. I had just come out of a relationship that hurt me a lot. We wanted different things in life and I spent so much time questioning myself, worrying if I was enough, and trying to make something work that just wasn't meant to. So when I joined P&O Arcadia, I had one focus: me. I wanted to sing, I wanted to travel, I wanted to grow as a person. I wanted to pursue becoming a guest entertainer one day, build my music career. Love, honestly, was not even on my vision board. And during an overnight stop in Boston, my first guest entertainer style show as practice, I was nervous but excited because it felt like a glimpse into the future of what I'd always dreamed of. After the show, my friends, Jess and Suzanne, came to support me. They brought along someone I'd never met before, Ryan. We briefly said hello, and that was it. I remember him mentioning he'd worked previously as a cruise director on other cruise lines and had connections in guest entertainment. So it was a nice conversation, but in my head, I was focused on my goals. Then later that day, I saw him again, and still I absolutely thought nothing of it, right? And a few weeks later, we had an overnight in St. John's, Canada. My plan for the day was simple. I went for sushi by myself. I was actually enjoying my own company for once. Then I met up with some friends in an Irish pub, and there he was again. I remember looking over and thinking, oh, it's that guy from Boston. We barely spoke, but I kept on catching him smiling at me, and later that night everyone went out to karaoke. Again, there he was. At this point, it was becoming funny how we kept ending in the same places. I sang karaoke completely in my own world and doing what I always do, giving it everything. At some point during the night, we ended up dancing together. And this is the part I still can't explain. Afterwards, I walked away to find my friends, but suddenly I couldn't stop thinking about him. I kept asking Jess, where's Ryan gone? Which was very unlike me, because I had spent months telling myself I didn't want another relationship. I had built walls around my heart because I was scared of getting hurt again. The truth is, when you've been hurt, you don't just magically become ready. You become cautious. You question people's intentions. You tell people you are fine on your own. You convince yourself that maybe love isn't just for you anymore. But there was something about him that still felt safe. Over the next few weeks, we spent more time talking. We had a port date together in Halifax, and what was supposed to be a conversation about guest entertainment somehow turned into talking about life. And real life, what we wanted outside of working on ships, our dreams, our fears, the lives we'd hoped to build one day. He lived in the Dominican Republic, I lived in the UK. On paper, it made no sense. But for the first time in a long time, I felt understood. Not because he completed me, but because I finally felt like I didn't have to shrink parts of myself to fit into somebody else's version of what they wanted. I could talk about my dreams of music, financial freedom, traveling the world, becoming the woman I'd always wanted to be. And instead of making me feel like I was asking for too much, he encouraged me. When my contract ended, well, honestly, let's just see what happens. I don't want to force anything. I thought once I stepped back into my real life, maybe the feelings would disappear, but they didn't. We spoke every single day. We did long distance through different contracts, different countries, different time zones, and somehow against all odds, our paths kept on crossing. Even our cruise ships in the Caribbean met exactly at the same time. The chances of that happening are so small. People can call it coincidence, but I truly believe some people come into your life for a reason. Fast forward to now, we are building a life together in the Caribbean, and honestly, being in Dominican Republic, I do think about the version of me who stepped onto that ship, heartbroken, convinced she had to figure everything out on her own. She had no idea that healing wasn't about finding someone else, it was about finding herself first. And maybe that's why love found me when it did. In the most messy way, but I finally stopped chasing it, and I was simply becoming the person I was meant to be. And somehow in the middle of cruise ships, karaoke nights, Canadian port days, and dreams bigger than both of us, I found my best friend. Part 2.